Welcome to the Life Coach Lounge. I'm Angela.
I'm Lisa.
And I'm Emily.
This isn't a podcast for coaches. It's for you, for real people navigating real life. It's lighthearted, it's deep, and it's grounded in faith, friendship, and purpose.
And once a month, you can join us in our virtual Life Coach Lounge on Zoom.
So pull up a seat. The Life Coach Lounge is open.
Hello and welcome to the Life Coach Lounge. I'm Emily and I'm delighted to be here with my friends and fellow life coaches, Lisa and Angela. But this podcast, it's not just for coaches. Anyone and everyone who enjoys authentic conversation is welcome here in the lounge. We are all about keeping it real, no matter what topic we're discussing. We hope the discussions we have here are an encouragement to you. And if you would like additional support, this is just your friendly reminder that each one of us has a one-on-one coaching practice, and we would love to come alongside you and support you in whatever is going on in your life. And you can easily find all of our contact information in the show notes. So ladies, the holiday celebrations are coming to an end. We are just days away from a new year. 2026 is just around the corner. I want to start by asking both of you, how do you celebrate the new year? Do you stay up till midnight? Do you have a party? Is it pajamas and early to bed? Any fun New Year's Eve traditions or foods? Tell me all the things. Who wants to get us started today?
Jim and I are definitely, Jim says we celebrate the Australian New Year because we go to bed at our normal time. The last time we stayed up until midnight was in 2020. We had special plans that night. And before that, it was probably Y2K. Remember Y2K? We stayed up and watched the turn of the century / millennia, whatever. And that was kind of fun. We just snuggled in the living room and watched it. You know, they showed every country as each country celebrated. And it was nice. It was fun. I was glad that we did it. Of course, we were younger then. So... yeah.
The world did not end when Y2K happened. Do you remember all the fear around that? That was
crazy.
Well before all of our technology now, too. How far we've come.
Yep.
How about you, Lisa? How do you like to ring in the new year?
I am probably somewhere between staying up late and happily asleep before 11. It depends. To me, it's what Angela said, like, I'm not as young as I used to be. Like when Brian and I were younger, we would go out and spend the money to go dancing or go to dinner or do something like that. Honestly, I'm trying to remember like the years, but once the kids got older and they started doing things with their friends, or they've moved out, or they're not even home, like it just felt different for the two of us. So like dinner was apps, small plates, like whatever our favorite finger food is. And I think technology also, like the streaming aspect of things, like we don't have cable. So like trying to find the ball drop on a platform that we're actually paying for, that wasn't always easy. We've kind of morphed into being like what Angela said. And if we go to bed at our regular time, Happy New Year, I love you, and good night. And then also being like, oh, let's stay up and play a game. We don't have a tradition anymore. Our tradition has become a non-tradition.
Well, I think New Year's Rockin' Eve, it's just not the same as it used to be. I think the whole Dick Clark, there was a lot of nostalgia around New Year's Rockin' Eve, and I don't know. I just don't even know any of those music artists anymore. So I am
That's what I
out.
was just thinking. I'm like, the older I get and you
I
see the
know.
entertainment, you're like, I have no clue who these people
No
are.
clue.
And it's
Yeah.
normally terrible, like not even entertaining. So I I agree with you. It's not what it used to be. So the three of us are not party animals, turns out. We are very much the same. We don't really have a big New Year's tradition. I did remember though, and this could be something really fun now that we have a son-in-law and our daughters are older. When we were younger, school age, high school age, and then even when Andrew and I were first married, my parents and some of their friends, and then their kids, like family friends that we grew up with, we would all go bowling in the afternoon on New Year's Eve, do dinner or whatever at the bowling alley that probably had a restaurant attached. And then we would be home by 8, 9 o'clock before maybe the dangerous traffic would be out with people drinking and things like that. So we celebrated earlier, and it was always a fun time to reconnect with some of those family friends that we didn't see as often as we got older. And so that might be something fun to, I'll check with my family and see if maybe we want to go bowling in the afternoon on New Year's Eve as a new tradition.
That's a fun idea.
I'm with both of you. I don't necessarily need to stay up and see Ring in the New Year, the actual New Year. I love how Jim and Angela said, what is it, the Australian New Year?
Yeah,
What
I
time does
know.
that clock turn over? Is it like
I
7 o'clock?
know.
I can get behind that. Oh, I love it. So today's topic is all about New Year's and just how we can close the chapter on 2025 with grace and gratitude. And then how do we welcome the possibilities of 2026 with purpose? So today we're going to talk about how we can ponder the past, prepare our hearts and minds for the future, and then make plans for the new year, again, with purpose. So, the first thing I want to talk about is pondering the past. So, I love this word ponder. The definition of ponder is to think about and to reflect upon. So, this would include reflecting on all that's happened in the past year. And that can bring up a variety of emotions depending on the kind of year that you've had. Maybe you've endured difficulties and challenges this year, and you're more than ready to turn the page to a new year. Maybe it's been the most amazing year ever, and you wish it wouldn't end. The reality is that most of us have a mix of both highs and lows, ups and downs. And when we take the time to ponder, to remember, and reflect, it's just really good to see where we've been and be able to close out the year, kind of bringing to a close all of those different emotions, being thankful for all of it. So, do either one of you do anything special to remember or reflect upon what's happened over the year? Do you have any end of year traditions?
I have recently, just it hasn't even been a full year, but I have recently, thanks to Facebook and their memories that will pop up for you, I have actually built in going to my memories section of my Facebook page and scrolling like way back. So I'm kind of doing what you're asking, Emily, over the last, I don't know, maybe not quite the full last quarter of 2025, but it's become a practice of mine to reflect from what I see in my memories. Even if it's something super small, like, oh, gee, my hair was really longer 5 years ago. It could be something small like that, or it could be something I wrote 4 years ago and shared on social media. And like, how does that land for me today? So I don't know if I'm going to do anything specifically with that. It just got me thinking of how I could make that a part of my daily practice into 2026 so that I can look back at the end of 2026 and kind of compare notes throughout the year and it would all be in one place. So Stay tuned. I'm trying to think of, I'm sure you're going to ask us about goals at some point. Like, I have to figure out how that's going to be sustainable for Lisa Gates. You know how I'll get ideas sometimes and we're like, yeah, that's a great idea. And then 2 weeks go by and you're like, yeah, no, I didn't stick with it. But
Yeah, and no pressure, right?
yeah, no, I do love looking though. Do you
Yeah.
guys ever look at your memories that social media will hand to
I don't
you
even
and
know
be
how to
like,
do that.
okay.
It does it automatically. It just shows up in your feed. That doesn't happen to you, Angela, on Facebook?
Angela has admitted before that she looks at like the first couple posts that pop up when she's scrolling.
Well, and I've maybe been on Facebook a year. So
Okay,
that
that
might
makes sense
be part
then.
of it.
Yeah,
I don't have a lot of memories on Facebook.
that definitely plays into the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm trying to discern how I can make looking back and doing that pondering as a practice for the year instead of just at the end of the year.
Great idea.
I like that.
How about you, Emily? What do you do?
Well, I can see that as being like a monthly practice too at the end of every month, even just going back in my camera roll to see what happened this month. Or did I not take any pictures because I'm not necessarily the best at remembering to get my phone out to actually snap a picture. But I would say end of the year has been more of, if I think of it, to go back and look at my camera roll for the previous year, even back to last Christmas, to see our family in front of the Christmas tree last year versus this year. That's really fun to compare. So yeah, when I wanted to start the podcast with this pondering the past, reflecting upon what has happened, I will admit this is not something that I've done regularly or done well. Not that it's a good or bad. I don't want to put any pressure on any of us to have to do this. I just realized I believe it's important to not ignore the bad or the hard times from the past year and also celebrate the good. I just think it's always good to slow down and take a look in their rear view mirror and see, what has God brought us through this year? Where are we this year compared to last year? And for us, that's been a little bit more clear and front of our minds because last year was a very, very challenging year. Like the last half of 2024 and then the first half of 2025, we had some major challenges in our lives. And so we've already been reflecting on, oh, remember last Thanksgiving compared to this Thanksgiving? Because it was so real. Like the memory was so real, and the black and white difference of the 2 years again was just, wow, God, look what you've done from last year to this year. So yeah, I have read or heard of people actually taking random pictures from their camera roll and just randomly picking some and sending them off and getting like a little photo album made to have a kind of a book to flip through for every year for their family. I thought that would be such a fun idea. I've never actually followed through on it, but I thought that would be a fun idea.
You would have to get your pictures from your family.
I would because I'm not the one that takes all the pictures.
Because you said you don't get your phone out. Yeah.
I'm not coming down on myself. However, there have been times where I'm like, why did I not just snap a picture of that amazing time we had?
Somebody captured it though. So you can,
Somebody,
as the
hopefully.
matriarch, you can say, I have the best idea. Now everyone send me random things.
Yes, I love that. How about you, Angela? What does this look like for you?
So I don't have a habit of doing anything specific, but something stood out to me in 2023. We had to say goodbye to our dog in the summer of 2023. And towards the end of the year, our brains are wired to go to the negative. And so what I was telling myself was, this was a hard year. This was a hard year. This was a difficult year. And there were other things too, but it just kind of put this dark cloud over the whole year. Well, I had decided to make one of those New Year's Day fun Instagram reels. And I sat down with my phone and started going through my year in review in photos. And we had done so many amazing things. We took trips that year. I mean, you guys know I love to walk, so I love taking pictures in nature, just all the seasons of photos that I had taken over the year, places we had gone, fun events that we had been to, people we spent time with. And it was like so fascinating to me how I had labeled it a difficult, hard year, kind of because of this one event that put a black cloud over the whole year. But when I went back and reflected, like you said, on the specific things that happened during the year, actually was way in favor of being a great year, not a hard or difficult year. So whether that's just going through your calendar and looking at things that you had on the calendar that you did, or your camera roll or journal entries. I like reading past journals to remember where I've been and what I wrote about. So, yeah, I think whenever your brain is telling you that a whole season is difficult, find evidence of the opposite.
I love that.
Well, and as coaches, we know to pay attention to our own thoughts whenever words like the whole season, the entire thing, everything happened. It's all true. Like, we as coaches pay attention to that when our clients are talking, right? When they're speaking to us. So it's not always as intuitive for myself to pay attention when my own brain does those sneaky things. So it's so good to have those type of things in place for all of us to look back and have reality in one hand instead of the stories that our brain is offering up to us that, oh yeah, it was way worse. Turns out, not when I made my reel, it wasn't.
Right. Or it was true that you
Yeah.
had a hard
Yeah.
thing happen. And what else is true? So when you
Yeah.
turn your brain on to looking for what else is true, then you open up to see how it was a mix of both. Again, that's life, right? It's
Yeah. What is that saying? I have survived 100% of my worst days. It's something like that. Like when you get up in the morning and your brain immediately goes to the negative, well, you woke up that morning and you can say clearly, I have survived 100% of my worst days because here I am.
yeah, speaking of mindset shift, the second place we want to go here as we're talking about the new year is preparing your heart and mind for what's to come, for the possibilities of the new year. So, what are your thoughts or feelings when you think about a new year? Is it excitement? Is it dread? Is it somewhere in between? How do you want to feel? As life coaches, we'd like to remind you that you get to decide on purpose how you want to feel about the new year ahead. I know for me, this has shown up in the past before I started doing 90-day goals, which we will talk about in a few minutes here. And the New Year's resolution situation was before me. I would vacillate between being really excited and thinking, oh, here's a new start, a fresh start. I'm so excited. But I would also feel the dread because I would remind myself, or my brain would remind me of all the times I got super excited at the beginning of the year, only to feel failure shortly after that because I didn't follow through. And so I had mixed feelings about the new year. And then it kind of ended up being like apathy, like, just a new year, no big deal. Turn the calendar, it's January. So what? And that's not a way to live either. So, as coaches, we use a tool called the creation cycle. And it's basically just how your thoughts affect your feelings, and your feelings affect your actions. And then it's this cycle that just continues, right? Thoughts, feelings, actions, thoughts, feelings, actions. And so I thought it might be good to maybe give a little example of that. So, Angela, would you like to walk us through that creation cycle for someone that is maybe dreading a new year and the pressure to come up with new goals, or the pressure to start the new year, whatever that looks like?
If I'm thinking I'm dreading the new year, probably feeling some fear, probably feeling some apprehension, dread, like you said. If I'm feeling that way, my actions and inactions will most likely be not set a goal, eat chips, drink whiskey, barbecue chips, by the way.
So a little bit of buffering, a little bit of
Little
avoiding
buffering, maybe a
taking
lot of
action.
buffering. Not try new things. That would be an inaction. Not sign up for anything new. Definitely not set a goal, because I don't think I would be feeling it if I'm feeling fear and dread. Yes, I'm not going into the new year with positive intention.
So what would the another thought be? Lisa, do you want to maybe show us if that thought can change from dread to excitement?
So, something that sometimes when we work with our clients, it's hard for them when we ask, well, what would be a different thought? It's easier sometimes for any one of us to go right to like that emotional piece, right? So, if we're talking about dread and the fear that Angela was talking about and the like apprehension, what I was feeling kind of like stuck in quicksand. Like I might want to move forward, like I have a forward motion up top here, but my feet are not following and I don't know what to do. So to just think about feelings you want to feel. So first of all, make sure that there's not the word should in any thought that is passing through your ears, right, in your brain. That's not going to be helpful. So you're, instead of dread and fear, to me, offering up the sense of feeling safe and grounded as you move into the new year, which to me would lend to a thought like hope. So maybe something like hopeful purpose as I look ahead. It's offering up the opportunity for your brain to see things differently. Do you know what I mean? Like you're not saying, I'm going to feel hopeful purpose. You're saying, as I look ahead with hopeful purpose, I want to feel safe and grounded. It's not demanding, it's more of an opportunity, which allows your body then to feel safe and grounded. Because as somebody who works a lot, not just with clients with their thought processes, but also with their senses, especially as an aromatherapist, their sense of smell. There's such a mind body connection, as we all know. So if your body is, if your thought is making your body feel the things Angela was describing, you absolutely have to change that thought. Otherwise, you can't plan with purpose because your body is screaming, no, danger, can't go. That's why I feel like when she was talking, I'm like, oh my gosh, this poor soul is stuck in quicksand. Like, I want to go into the new year. Nope, I'm going to stay right here.
Yes, that's so good. And just that reminder that how whatever's going on in the background, whether that's a feeling or a thought, if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling like quicksand, like Lisa said, it's so good to pay attention to that, because you could set goals, you could plan for things for the new year, but if your body and your emotions and your thoughts, whatever's going on in the background, is not on board, it's going to be a whole lot harder to fuel those goals and to take action and to be motivated to keep moving forward. So, just that reminder that you get to decide on purpose how you want to think about a new year. I love the word possibility. To me, that is just so hopeful. There's no pressure with it. When I think about 2026 as a year full of possibilities, my brain instantly opens up to, oh, I wonder what that could be, like curiosity. It's just a quick reminder to pay attention to whatever is going on as you think about the new year. So once we have pondered and reflected on the past, we've prepared our heart and mind for the future and the possibilities of what's to come. That's a great time to plan with purpose. So, how do we plan a new year? We had a great conversation about 90-day goals on our podcast episode number 5. If you have not listened to that, we highly recommend that you go back and listen to that one. But it's such a great concept that I'm going to repeat a few nuggets from that episode here today as we're talking about setting goals into the new year. All 3 of us have had tremendous success by implementing this method of goal setting. It's basically, instead of looking at the whole year, one goal or a set of goals for 365 days, you break it down into quarters. So you'll have 4 opportunities every year to set 90-day goals, one for each quarter or multiple goals for each quarter. And it's so much less intimidating to me than setting a New Year's resolution. So yeah, the 90-day goal setting, go listen, episode 5. It's a good one. So ladies, what have you found? Maybe tell us a little bit about your journeys with goal setting. I know I've already shared, for me, the New Year's resolution felt intimidating, big. I felt a lot of failure around it. Again, we talked about perfectionism on episode number 29, I think it was, where we talked about all or nothing thinking, failing forward. That came up a lot for me when I would set New Year's resolutions. But the 90-day goals felt much more attainable for me and much more motivating. And I saw success much quicker than I would have ever with New Year's resolutions. So what have your journeys been with goal setting? And maybe where do you start? So now that we're on the brink of a new year, how do you even start a new goal with a new quarter coming up?
I'm going to say that it didn't go well for me when I first started the 90-day goals. Even in a couple, it's been a couple years now that I've been using that practice. And initially, it did not go well for me. And in retrospect, I can figure out why. But during the first solid 3 quarters, I was almost ready to be like, I'm not doing this. It's not working. And in retrospect, what I found to be true for myself, going back to the New Year's resolution and making goals for the year for all 12 months, and not surprisingly, a lot of people get to February, if they're lucky, and feel like, I've made it this far, or they feel like, I didn't even make it this far. I felt that way with the 90-day goals. And here's the retrospect part. I continued my resolution style of thinking when I was doing even something on a smaller scale. So I was setting myself up in some respect for failure. I would make my goals way too, one, vague, or two, not attainable. I needed more coaching. I needed more mindset shifting to recognize I am enough, not I'm not enough. I do have what it takes to achieve this 90-day goal. And then baby steps, like I'm going to read 5 pages every day in a book instead of I'm going to write a book in 90 days. Do you know what I mean? Like I would be like, no, I'm too overzealous. So I would back it down. So, first of all, enough. That was huge for me. Being enough and constantly reminding myself I am enough. And then letting go of the shame. So, carrying over the 90-day goal because newsflash, sometimes the 90-day goal is achieved in the first couple weeks. It's possible. And sometimes the 90-day goal gets carried over into the next 90 days. And it's okay. There's no shame and guilt in that. But initially, when I first started, nope.
So there was a learning curve for you.
It was a huge learning curve for me. I can't tell you how many times I got coached on it. It was a huge learning curve for me. Carson, if you're listening.
Hi, Carson.
We need to have Carson on the show one of
Mhm.
these days. So now that you have been setting 90-day goals for a few years now, would you say you prefer this method over the New Year's resolution? Do you feel more
Yes,
strongly like
1,000%. Yes.
strategy, more attainable
Mhm.
now that the learning curve is
Yes.
sort of over and it's become a new way of setting goals?
Yeah. And as we find out in coaching sessions, it's not, for me, it wasn't about the 90-day goal concept. Surprise, surprise, right? It wasn't about that. It was about me carrying over past cycles that you just talked about, Emily, where I kept showing up for myself in a way that my story in my head was I don't have what it takes. I'm not enough. Therefore, my actions turned out, well, I didn't succeed in said goal. And then the guilt and shame would come in. And then I think, okay, I'll start the goal over again. And I just end up back at the beginning of the cycle again. So, yeah, it was a learning curve for me, for sure, but so much easier to do things in 90-day cycles. It's actually pretty impressive to me now what I can accomplish in 90 days.
Yeah. And so amazing that it allowed you, it was a tool that you didn't even realize you were using in order to bring up some of those limiting beliefs or strongholds that you had been
Mm-hmm.
carrying for a long time. So it wasn't even about setting and achieving that goal. The whole process of challenging yourself to do it that way brought up something else for you to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's amazing because we've also said and heard that it's often not even about the actual goal that you're setting. It's about what you learn along the way about yourself, about keeping your word to yourself,
Mm-hmm.
about setting attainable and measurable goals.
I say all the time that I am a constant work in process. And then people will be like, you mean progress? And I'll be like, no, I mean process.
Well, that kind of reminds me of one of the things I think about the difference between a resolution and a goal is resolutions feel so large. I'm going to lose 50 pounds this year. And so it feels so insurmountable. So take one piece of what you would do to reach that goal and make that the new goal. I'm going to walk 3,000 steps a day. Just take a small piece to get you on the right track in your habits to achieve that goal. Or I'm going to write a schedule and keep it every day this year. Well, just take one piece of that. I'm going to set my alarm at this time and get up right away. Just even that piece of moving toward the end goal of sticking to your schedule. So maybe, just dumb down your goal into the first step and make that the new goal.
Yes. And that's what I was coached on, what you just described, because I would make the goal so big.
Yeah.
And then there were so many different facets in that goal that it felt like I wasn't being successful, even though I was, but because I couldn't check the big box, therefore I failed and couldn't see the ones that you're just describing. Yeah, I probably was not in this case walking 3,000 steps, but something like that. Like, yeah. Because then when you do accomplish that in the first 2 weeks, you just move on to the next baby step.
Big win. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's motivating to keep going because it's just one more little step in the same direction. So good. I remember being overwhelmed when I finally got this concept and it was feeling like I was on board with the 90-day goal setting, that every new 90-day goal or new 90 days that came up, like at the beginning of the quarter, I would feel sort of an overwhelm because I was like, well, I have so many things I want to accomplish. And there were plenty of 90-day increments where I set too many goals. And so I was really not efficient in getting any of them to be accomplished. And so somebody helped me. I think a coach had helped me with just make a list of everything that you wish that you could accomplish, all of the goals, and then just pick one. Just pick one. You have the list to come back to. If you meet that goal in 2 weeks, great. Then go pick the next one and start working on that. Just pick one, start small, and you can always build from there.
I love that Angela reminded all of us too that it's the goal isn't even the point. I needed to be reminded of that and continue to be reminded like it is what you are accomplishing along your journey in that 90 days that is the point.
Usually a lot of processing of emotions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's that hard part.
Yeah.
So true. So, what does planning and following through on a 90-day goal look like? What does it look like daily to put your plan into action? Do you ladies use an app? Do you use a list, a paper planner? We know Angela likes her stickers. I think she mentioned that on the 90-day goal episode. What does it look like daily? If you have a goal, how do you keep yourself accountable to that? What does that look like a daily practice? What does that look like to implement that?
I think we talked about this in that episode that you referenced, Emily. But one of the things that comes to mind for me is habit stacking. So taking, let's say you want to drink water. I want to stay hydrated and, get my water intake in. So putting your glass of water, if you're, a coffee snob like I am, then my water glass is ready for me so that while the coffee is making its way into my coffee mug, I'm going to drink my first 16 or more ounces of water. Like I've set myself up for that success to start my day that way. So habit stacking.
And a physical reminder, like you're like a physical reminder, you're putting the glass by the coffee pot or by the coffee mug as a reminder, like,
Right.
hey, remember, you're going to drink water first. So I love that physical reminder.
Yeah, I think Angela has said she gets up and puts her workout clothes on. That's her intention. Like I will be taking a walk later. I will be working out later. She gets up and that's how she starts.
Yeah, another physical reminder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know for me too, if it's been something that doesn't necessarily have a tangible physical object attached to it, I will write it on my planner page. So I love a paper planner. And so as I have my plan for the day, I will either the night before or the morning of write down what that goal is. I mean, even reading 5 pages a day, I will read 5 pages in this book today, or I will reach out to, this person today, or whatever that goal is, to write it down as a commitment on my planner day after day gets your brain to remember we're working towards that goal today. Or I took a course on homeopathy. So I would write in there 10 minutes in the homeopathy course today, or 2 pages in the course book today, little by little, every day. But I find writing it and seeing it there in, pencil on paper is very helpful for me.
So as I'm coming to the end of my year-long goal of not spending money on myself for a whole year, I have found that having one powerful thought for the whole year, for the whole goal, has been really life-changing. So instead of lots of reasons why I want to accomplish this goal, or motivational reasons, to accomplish a goal, just one thought. And my one thought this year has been use what you have. So anytime I feel that urge to add to cart or, buy something for myself, especially, when there's sales and all of that, I love a good sale. Just use what you have. And every time I think that, it literally almost just wipes the desire away. So find that one powerful thought that you can think every day that helps you take the next step toward success, reaching your goal.
I love that.
Short and sweet. It packed a punch for you so that at the end of the year, it is your default, right? But initially, I'm sure you had to come up with a powerful thought to get you through the first 90 days, right? After Christmas sales and all the
Yes.
things.
Because I was wrestling with my own brain every day. I mean, trying to reason my way out of this goal. No, really, I do need that, and then, dealing with all the emotion that came up, the desire to add to cart, the desire to have something new to wear to the party or Valentine's Day or my birthday dinner or whatever it was, coach events. Hello. And that one thought, once I grabbed a hold of it, it quieted all those other ones down. And it just became almost like an anchor for achieving the goal.
So great. And you're proof, Angela, that you can set a year-long goal. Or did you have to recommit to that every 90 days? Was that like something that you thought, I want to do this all year, but then you recommitted every 90 days? Or was that really truly like this is a 365-day 2025 goal that I'm committed to?
I knew on day one, it was 1 year. Yeah.
That's so cool that you were able to do that. So it can go either way. You can have a year-long goal. You can have quarterly goals. You can have 6 months goals. The whole idea is to keep it simple, to really check your mindset and have that powerful thought.
Measurable is helpful. Yeah. Have a measurable goal. Yeah.
Well, we hope this episode today has been a blessing to you as you ponder and reflect on 2025. Prepare your heart and mind for future possibilities and plan your 2026 with purpose. We would love to hear all about your goals for the new year, and we are cheering you on. Thank you for joining us today, and Happy New Year to all of the loungers who join us here every week. We so appreciate you. And stay tuned for exciting new opportunities to interact with us in 2026. A virtual lounge is coming soon, so follow us on social media for all the details. Until next time, we can't wait to hang out with you. And Angela and Lisa, I will see you later today in the Marcos.